Hello and welcome to the channel. And for today's video we will be doing another 2-for-1 review. Usually when I do these 2-for-1s, it's basically because there's something in common between the figures that we are going over. Usually it's either the same mold or same character. And in this case, it is the same mold, right? So we're looking at the Siege Ironhide and the Ratchet. The good thing about these customs is that for the most part, everything that was done to them can be featured in both modes. So in this case, that's why I have the Ratchet in robot mode and the Ironhide in its vehicle mode. So I thought I'd start off with something different. Instead of having both in robot mode, I'll just start with one in each, and then I'll transform them back right into the opposites of the other. So let's first look at the Ironhide here, because there's a lot of things that to be featured here. So first off, let's remove the gun. The gun I did repaint. For those who have the figure know that this figure. Oh, I just noticed I never painted the back end. Okay, I guess that's something I need to do. Those who know the figure know that these figures come with like battle damage or a dry brushing effect. You can see that here on the on this exposed feet there. So the weapon also had it. I just ended up painting it in gunmetal. The red stripe that was already standard on the figure. And you can barely notice it. I don't know if you can. On the inside there are some silver bits that I added, like these parts here, on this circle part here, on these little wire thingies here, and then on this long wire that comes here on the bottom. I added some, there we go, I added some silver to that, and on this part here on the inside of this peg. So that's on both sides, right there, right there, right there, and this long cable here. And although you can't notice it, I did paint silver the little rockets there inside here. Well, I don't know if they're rockets or just barrels, but I think of them as rockets. So there's that. As far as the figure goes, let me get in position here. As far as the figure goes, he has a lot of stuff going on in vehicle mode. One of the things that I changed, can't really tell here from the inside, but the wheels were originally in like a gray plastic colored, and most people who modified the figures wanted them to look more, like their Earth mode counterparts, so they ended up painting the wheels black. But I stayed with the Cybertronian, look, and thought that adding silver wheels looked more, futuristic and whatnot. So I went with silver tires with the gunmetal and gold on the wheels on the inside. And then I added this little silver piece there, just break up a little bit of the red. That gold paint was already standard, as well as this. And then here up front, I did end up painting the bumper with these you know, gunmetal, and added these like headlights thingies, silver, and then these gold trim bits, as well as silver in there. I believe those are, no, that's actually just a reflection. Everything is in gunmetal, and then this silver bit I did paint there up front. This. Okay, and then on the back, these are his feet. I only painted these heel parts in gold, and I'm sorry, not gold, in silver and gunmetal. And on the bottom, you can see a lot of what I ended up doing as far as paint goes. So a lot of gunmetal and some silver highlights and gold. Same here, gunmetal and silver. And then some silver here, here, and here. And then in these parts in there. And then everything is in gunmetal on the inside. Yeah, that right there. And of course, these are his arms, which are also highlighted up here. So these are the shoulders, the forearms. And we'll see more of those when I transform him in robot mode. I did nothing to the cockpit, that was already silver. I decided not to add anything to it. Oh, and I also painted this silver. This was originally, you know, the plastic color. And funny enough, it hasn't rubbed off, so that's good. So that's Ironhide in his robot mode. Let's bring in Ratchet in his robot mode. And we're gonna see what I decided to highlight on him in this mode. Let me remove the gun, because I did nothing to the gun. There we go. So on this guy, I didn't go as much as I ended up doing on Ironhide in robot mode, because the figure is mostly, you know, white and red, so I tried to stay, you know, in that in that lane, so to speak. Didn't try to deviate too much from that look, so I just added some bits here and there. So for instance, the hands, the red parts, you know, I painted all of that red. It's not an exact match for the red that comes with the figure if you compare it to this red stripe or the ones here on the shoulders. You know, it's not in a perfect match, but from a distance you can't really tell. And then all of this little detail that was added on his forearms. cool thing is that neither side is the same. It's a little more simpler. I did add these silver bits onto his bicep. Right, same on the other side. And that on this 5mm port as well. Nothing up front, right? Kept it a little basic. You can see here the silver going around on the in the inside of the bicep as well. And then on the forearm, I just added this little silver bit, just to break up a little bit of the white. What's this thing? Anyway, so there's that on the arms. Just a little silver bit down there near his belly button. Silver on these little plates that are on his thighs. And then down by his shins, I added this silver and gunmetal detail. And of course the feet. I added silver for the sole, you could say, of his feet, of his boots, or whatever you want to call those. And on the toe tips, the darker gunmetal with some silver. And I believe the red, yes, I also painted the red on these. Let me check. No, the red on there is standard. So no, that red was already on the figure. Same as these stripes right here. Now I did add the red on this, as well as the silver highlights. I did add a clear coat to the red. It's a matte finish. And then on the back, you can see on his shoulders, on the back of his shoulders, he's got like monitors molded in there that were not colored in. So I added color to those, you know, those green, red, and blue cables. I decided to paint those in those colors since if you remember, the Dinobots have those, you know, similar color schemes in them and thrown in there in bits and parts. Mainly, you know, the Grimlock has those three colors on the front of his shins. And since Ratchet was, along with Wheeljack, essentially the creator of the Dinobots in the cartoon, that's why I decided to paint those cables red, green, and blue, just to homage that. Those little bits, right? And then on the bottom of his legs, on the back of his legs, a lot of silver. That red plate I painted, as well as, you know, that silver bit there, silver and gold. And you can see he also has the silver wheels, but we'll see that in excuse me, you'll see that in vehicle mode. All right, you can see it a little bit there. And that's about it for Ratchet in robot mode. So I'll pause the video, transform the guys, and I'll show them in their reverse alt mode. 1 second. All right, and here we have the the figures transformed. So here we have Ironhide in his robot mode and Ratchet in his vehicle mode. Let's start with Ironhide, and let's take a look at all of the bits that all of the color bits that I added to him in this mode. Let me raise the camera just a little bit, just to get a little bit more comfortable. Okay. Sorry. So, you can see here the gunmetal that I added on his shoulders with some silver detail added in parts, as well as here on the inside of his shoulders. Right. And then on the forearm, and then on his hand is fully painted with a base gunmetal color with some silver bits thrown in there. So of course that's on both sides. And then his entire, crotch piece is also painted gunmetal completely. Right. You can see some silver bits there on the back. Right there. And on the front, some little parts picked out in silver. I believe the red was already on there. And then the entire legs were painted silver. There you can see the detail on the back of his legs, which are the bottom rear end of the car in car mode. And you can look at that detail again on the back. And let's see, again, his bottom of his feet. Nothing on this side of the panels like I did on Ratchet. Try to keep it more simple with this guy here. Although there is always room, to paint stuff if I want to. Reconsider. So yeah, there's Ironhide in his robot mode. And let's bring in now Ratchet. And here you can see some of the stuff that I did that highlights in vehicle mode. Of course, I also went with the same scheme for the wheels, silver wheels. However, I believe I used a different silver than I did on Ironhide. This is a more traditional silver color. This was the I used the folk art 25th anniversary or something like that silver, or 35th anniversary silver, and then on this guy I used the Craft Smart Basic Silver. Alright. I also painted this little part here silver, same as this little bits over here in the back. Oh, and of course the hubcaps, you know. I believe they were, yeah, I painted those metallic red and gold. Other than this little silver piece on here, I didn't do much here up front. And then up top, you can see the forearm bits, right, exposed here. That's his, you know, his shoulders, biceps parts, and then the bottom of his feet. I did more on this guy for the bottom of his feet than I ended up doing on Ironhide. So you can see I used primary a silver base for and a gunmetal here for the front portion of his feet, and the gold for these. I don't know what these are. It's supposed to be like thrusters. I don't know. And then you can see here the toe caps there. So yeah, that's pretty much it on these guys. Pretty fun figures. A lot of you know, you can see a lot of detail in them to work with. I've yet to have the Earthrise or the Earth versions of these guys. You know, COVID has severely restricted my purchasing without being able to, you know, cross into the US as a tourist, where I mostly did all of my figure shopping. I've done what I can through Amazon, Mexico, and other places, but for the most part, I've slowed down a lot of Transformer purchases in the last year and a half. So hopefully once restrictions are over, I'll be able to get, you know, not all of them, but, you know, a bunch of those figures that I've missed out so far. I really want that Rodimus Prime and Hot Rod, and you know, a few other figures that came out that I haven't had a chance to get my hands on. So hopefully, yeah, you know, the virus is under control enough so that they can open the borders. So yeah, and so that's it for this review, overview, you can say, of my custom Ironhide and Ratchet from the Siege line. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.